Hello everybody, it's the TheRubiksPilot and welcome back. Sorry it's been so long since I have made a video last. Just been pretty busy with finishing up school, getting, some of those last final exams of high school, and getting a job over the summer. But on my day off, gonna make a few videos for you guys. And this is the first practice session of the Summer League for Three Rivers Karting 2021. So I'm very, very excited to be back in a kart here. This is only my second time back in a kart since April or something, and we were in May then. So definitely trying to shake some rust off. Definitely trying to get used to the kart again. Know what lines are fast, what lines aren't. And just basically, yeah, that's basically it. Right in front of me, I have Matt. He is my main competitor for this first week here because we were talking a lot. Our times were quite quick. We just had a practice session before this practice session, and he beat me by 0.2 of a second. He had a 16.8. I had a 17 flat. So in this, no, excuse me, he had a 17 flat, I had a 17.2. In this practice session, at the end of it, I had a 16, no, I had a 17 flat, Matt had a 16.9, so we'll go ahead and cut to my fastest lap. And here we are going through the final corner, getting a good launch on out of there, keeping it straight and just getting the best line through turn 1. Going through turn 2, mid-apex, rotate the kart around, keep it all the way left, then you do a late apex for that first hairpin, keeping it tight for the second one, and getting a good launch so that you can have a good rest of your next lap. And so that was the fastest lap of that practice session, once again a 17.05, but now is where it really starts to matter. Here is qualifying.
That's going to be a good transition.
And indeed it was a good transition. Here we go for the first qualifying session of Summer League 2021. I am very anxious coming into here. It's very important to get a good result, but unfortunately, that's just something that I was not able to do in this kart. This was kart number 17. Now keep that in mind for the rest of this series of these videos. Kart 17 was the most cursed kart of the entire season for this summer, and you will see why coming out of this corner. There is absolutely zero power. Like, listen to like the motor whine going at the end of that straight. There is just no power, and I ended up getting a 17 flat again. So that sounds pretty good, right? The only thing is that because I got a 17 flat and the track is a lot more rubbered in now, that time is no longer good enough. Pole position ended up being a 16.7, a 16.762. 0.3 faster than anything I could have managed. That means that I started in 10th position in B heat. I was not a happy camper.
All right, guys, feet off the pedals.
Now, going into this B heat race, the heat race, I qualified 10th and we were inverting the top 3, which meant the person that actually got 11th place is starting in front of me, and me, who got 10th place, does not get moved at all. So here we go, going out for our warm-up lap. Really important to try to get as much heat into these tires as you can. Going out on speed 2, also known as junior speed here at 3RK. Really just trying to, get a feel for where the brake pedal is, as you can see there, jabbing the brake pedal. Know where the sticky lines are, know exactly where you might be able to get people. And here we are going onto the grid for the first time in 2021 for me. Getting myself all nice and lined up here. Making sure no one gets an advantage. And waiting for these infamous words. And indeed, that's exactly what's about to happen. And here we go at Three Rivers Karting for the first heat race of 2021. Getting a decent start and actually gaining a lot on the person in front of me who is actually BT Clutch. Going a little bit wide, going through the first hairpin, pushing him a little bit wide, going almost into the wall right in front of our voluntary steward, Drew Ratmiata. And the caution flags are not out yet. Pushing a little bit wide, going completely alongside him, and I do get the move done. But they are giving me a penalty for that bump and run. I need to give up the one position before the end of this lap. You can tell that I am really lifting, making sure that he gets nice and up close to me so I do not lose any more than that one position that I am obliged to give up, which I have to give up two because Carl followed BT Clutch through with me. So now I have to try to get past him again, and I just really don't want to get a penalty, another penalty here. So I'm being a little bit more cautious this time because they are very, very strict on these stewarding rules. So just trying to find any possible opportunity that I can, and that's a very good one there as he actually bumps the apex there, and I'm trying to get past once again, shoves me off with his rear axle, tried to hang around the outside, but I couldn't make the move done around the outside, but going down the inside, he leaves an entire kart's width, and now I have a lot of room to make up. Try to set some really nice hot laps. Not going to really be doing it by going wide into turn 2 like that, Ryan, but you know, just keep going, keep pushing as hard as I can. And now we're just gonna skip a little bit farther into this heat race to where I start to reel Carl in. He is giving me the bird, telling me, no, I don't want you to come after me. And he makes a big mistake going into turn 2, which really just shortens the gap by a whole lot. I believe there's only 3 laps remaining at this point, and now they are just really trying to make sure that there's not a whole lot of contact, not a whole lot of any illegal activities going on the track. All the stewards watching very closely. This is the final lap of the race. This is my only opportunity that I can get to try to get past Carl. And you can see I'm just bumping him a little bit wide there, and that was definitely my biggest mistake going into that turn, because then that gave him the advantage and I could not win that race. But I did get the fastest lap, which gives me those 2 bonus points. So Carl in front of me, beating me in the B heat. A little bit angry at myself for that, but with the time that I set...
One more lap and I would have had you. One more lap. I'm sorry.
Just a little bit of track talk there. But all in all, it was a pretty good race. Pretty happy with my time there, which actually put me P2 in the A feature race, which is where it all matters. And here we go, leaving the pit lane in P2 for the feature race. The big one, the one that matters for the race win of the weekend. Sitting right behind Luke. I cannot wait for this race to get underway. Very, very anxious to see exactly what is going to happen throughout the duration of this race. And as you can see, I'm putting my entire body into warming up this kart. Luke actually went a little bit quicker than I expected going around that out lap. It really made it so that I couldn't really warm up my tires as much as I really wanted to. So now we are lining up on the grid. P2 for the second time. And now I am just waiting for these lights to go out. There's those beautiful words said by Hunter, turning my steering wheel right so that I can cut across the field and get a good run going up into turn 1. And I'm really just trying to stay as close as I can to Luke, just in case he makes any sort of mistake, so that I can capitalize on it if anything is to happen. But right now, just trying to stay on his tail. Got gapped a little bit going through that second corner there, unfortunately. But I made up the time a little bit more going into turn 2 there. As you can see, I'm right back on his bumper going through these hairpins, but he always seems to get a bit of a better exit going out of that second corner, which is really the last corner, going all the way up into the second corner, which the second corner is really the only overtaking opportunity on this short track. This is short track layout 5 for the karting place here at Three Rivers Karting, which has 16.6 or 16.7 second lap times at pretty much all times. And just really trying to stick with him. Luke making a little bit of a mistake going into turn 2 there, and just gave him a little bit of a tap on the rear bumper. Can I make anything happen going into the second hairpin there? He did mess up a little bit. Really getting a really short exit going out of that last corner, but once again, starts to gap me ever so slightly going down this front straight. The two of us are really starting to pull away from the rest of the pack. They are a little bit out of screen at this point. It's really actually tough to tell where everyone else is, but we do have quite a substantial gap to the carts behind, and it's just a two-horse showdown between me and Luke at this moment. Really no opportunities yet for me to overtake him. He keeps making a little bit of mistakes, but then just starts to make it up at other places where I just can't capitalize on it. I am much faster going through the double hairpins part, but he's much faster at actually exiting those hairpins and going through turn 1 and turn 2 with the maximum amount of speed, and it really doesn't help that I just clipped that final corner there. Really, you can tell that just the tiniest little bit of mistakes is huge for just this entirety of sticking with the person in front of you. Now you can see some back markers. We are starting to approach some back markers, and all I'm thinking in my head at this point is I just need them to screw Luke up, and so that I can maybe try and get an opportunity to just go up the inside and take the lead of the race. They are fighting up ahead, and that is just making us really catch them substantially faster than if they were just trying to race. That's Nate Barr in the white helmet there. And I'm not entirely sure. I believe that is Carl that he is chasing down. Yes, that is Carl. And now it's a 4-cart race out of nowhere. 2 back markers that are going to get blue flagged, I hope, at some point. Yep, there's the blue flag. So letting Nate through without any trouble, Luke through without any trouble. I bump him a little bit wide going into turn 2, trying to stay around the outside, but he just shoves me out, and I can't do anything with it. And I just don't really have another opportunity at this point, because I got shoved going into that final corner by Nate, which boosted him forward all the way going up into turn 2, which was very unfortunate timing for me. And now I need to try and see if there's any other opportunities with the minimal amount of laps that are left for me to try and snake or slip past Luke. And as you can see, the gap is staying pretty similar, but you just see going through those double hairpins, I do gain a lot of time on him, but he just gets such a better exit going out of that final corner. I tend to hop a lot going through that final corner, where Luke has tamed his cart enough to not really hop the cart. What do I mean by hopping? As actually, I'm not going to explain this. That will be in a later video, probably week 6 or 7. I believe it is week 7. Final lap of the race. Unfortunately, not close enough to make anything happen. And I'm going to have to settle for second place. As you can see, the hand of disappointment slowing down now, almost rear-ended Luke there. And I am just crushed. Could have been my first ever win.
I can't. Oh, man.
Drew, nice bits of sportsmanship there as I painfully see Luke grabbing the checkered flag to do his victory lap. And that was my closest opportunity I have ever had to winning a race. So very, very crushed. But thank you everybody for watching. I hope to see everybody in the next video, which is going to be week 2 of Summer League. Everybody take care until then, and have a good rest of your day.